Hello everybody, my name's Mr. Towler, Curriculum Leader for PE at Long Benton High School. I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes about the fantastic A-level PE course, and I've included my email address on there, so if there are any questions that you still have following this presentation, please do get in touch. So why choose this subject, and is it right for you? Well, one of the things that we're going to talk about in this presentation is just how flexible the A-level PE course is in terms of future opportunities for learners and some of the pathways that it might open up or does open up for students to go on to following the course. So you can see there I've listed just a few ideas. This is not an exhaustive list by any stretch. Are you thinking of becoming a physiotherapist? Do you want to manage a gym? Are you looking to go into the forces? Do you aim to help people in society become healthier? Are you interested in how the human body works? Are you looking to choose an A-level course that complements your interests outside school? So it might be that you are passionate about sport and you've not previously done a sports-based qualification at Key Stage 4, but it's something that you would like to take up at A-level. Do you hope to become a personal trainer? Are you trying to find a course that goes well with your other choices? And so one thing that I'm going to talk about during this presentation is some of the combinations that students use for the course or have used for the course in the past in terms of taking maybe maths and one science and A-level PE or any combination really that works for the student. And one of the many benefits of the A-level PE course is because of the variety of content that's covered, it does give students an insight into lots of topics that they might not have previously learnt about, and it's those topics that really fire their imagination, and that's what they go on to pursue following A-level courses at apprenticeship level, degree level, or even as a career choice further down the line. So just a few key points here. Something that I would like to mention at this stage is that the course takes place predominantly in the classroom, and that's something I want to make clear now, because we do talk to students about this in more detail, but because of the variety of sports that we have, it's very difficult for us to do practical sessions, as you can appreciate, if we've got a swimmer, a gymnast, a badminton player, a footballer and a rugby player. So we rely on the students to get their evidence for their practical activities in their own time outside of the school setting. The assessment structure is quite diverse in terms of how students are assessed, and I'll talk about that shortly. Another key point here is that students would only have to choose one sport to be assessed in, and they can choose to be assessed as a coach or a performer. And as I've already alluded to, because of the range of topics that are covered, it allows students to get a really good base of knowledge and understanding that will then allow them to go on and study different areas in the future. So content, I've talked about the variety. You can see on the left hand side in the red box there some of the questions that we would cover. And then on the right hand side, just a bit of an overview really of some of the topics that we will be looking at over the 2 years. And that can cover things like the origins of sport. So here you've got mob football, which was a very violent activity, and that really did set the precedent in terms of the structures and how then other sports subsequently evolved from that model. We look at things like anxiety and how players singing a national anthem can then start to control their emotions as the game starts. We look at technology, and here you've got the Hawkeye example, and we look at, has that been positive or have there been negatives linked to that in sport? We look at commercialization, so we look at the growth of media and sponsorship. We look at technology, so here you can see an example of elite level cycling where they're looking to streamline the equipment and the body shape of the performer. We look at aggression in sport and how that influences the levels of performance. We look at injuries, so here you can see concussion as an example. We look at funding, elite level funding, so in this case UK sport and how they invest in certain sports for the Olympics and Winter Olympics and Paralympics. We look at how athletes prepare for sport and competition, and so we look at physiological adaptations that take place, we look at training plans, and then we look at things like movement analysis, so we look at how the skeleton works in partnership with the muscular system and how that generates movement. So this slide, I appreciate, is quite small, so feel free to pause it at this stage if you want to look at this in a little bit more detail. But essentially what I wanted to show you here from the OCR specification is the range of assessment practices, I suppose, that take place over the course. So you've got 3 exams, and then you've got what we call non-exam assessment down at the bottom. So that involves 50% of that is a practical performance grade, and 50% is the evaluation and analysis of performance for improvement. So essentially that EAPI is a coursework element, and that's where students would watch a performer and then they would assess strengths and weaknesses of that performer. And as I previously mentioned right at the start of this presentation, progression for me is one of the many exciting elements of this course, because we have students going into the what you think of as more traditional sporting routes. So down the left hand side there, sports science, sports management, healthcare, exercise science, sports coaching and teaching. And we do have many students who do go down that particular pathway. And then on the right hand side there, you can see how it does open up different subject areas based on the content that we cover, so that it would complement some of the other course content, or it might just set the imagination of the student going in terms of what they want to study following the course. And so you can see there, human biology, physics, psychology, nutrition and sociology are all featured in A-level PE, and many of our students go on to study those at degree level or as part of their apprenticeship course. Thank you very much for listening to this short presentation. Just a reminder there of my email address, so if you do want to get in touch, I'll be more than happy to get back to you and try and answer any questions that you might have. Thanks again for listening. Speak to you soon. Bye.